What's up, guys? It's Patricia from tarantulaheaven.com, and today I want to talk about how to make your tarantula comfortable. This is especially asked by new tarantula owners who just got their new pet. They want to know, how can I keep my tarantula or make them comfortable or happy, or how do I know if they're comfortable or happy? So I figured this is a really good topic to dive into. And if you're new to my channel, you should know that I put out videos every single week about tarantula behavior, tarantula facts, tarantula tips, or just funny, weird stories about my own tarantulas or other people's tarantulas. I love tarantulas, so if you are into that, feel free to subscribe. I put out videos every single week. A little introduction is needed. Right now we have Miss Spidey, my little G Rosea, right here, and she is grooming. I don't know if you guys can see it because of the glare, but she's grooming, which is super adorable. Anyway, back to what I was trying to talk about. So how to make your new tarantula comfortable. Now, tarantulas cannot tell us when they're feeling uncomfortable with words. Unlike cats or dogs, they cannot speak, and they have very limited communication skills. Of course, unless you get a threat pose or some hairs kicked at you, a lot of times you won't really know what's up unless you really pay attention to tarantula behavior and research it quite a bit. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the signs of a tarantula being uncomfortable, so that you can know. So the first thing I like to talk to new tarantula owners about is the fact that this is a pet that likes to be left alone. The tarantula hobby is currently exploding, which is amazing. It's wonderful to be getting so many new people interested in these beautiful creatures, especially young new tarantula owners. I think that's just so cool. But with their popularity, we're seeing a lot of really funny tarantula memes, a lot of really cute tarantula artwork being made, a lot of handling photos and stuff like that. And I always want to stress that, despite what you're seeing, or, cute memes and stuff like that about tarantulas, or cute artwork with their little big eyes and being all cute and fluffy and stuff, these creatures actually really like to be left alone. And I think it's really, really important to stress, especially for new tarantula owners, because you may not know that from all the stuff you're seeing online. And a lot of tarantula groups are really, really good about putting disclaimers on their handling photos and stuff like that. But, it's easy to miss if you're getting really caught up in the excitement and only looking at certain forums or websites or stuff like that, to get the impression that these things are something that you can train to like you, or, these are very cuddly pets, and they're not. I'm sorry if that burst your bubble, but tarantulas actually really, really love to be left alone. And while there are some species or spiders who are more docile than others, just because you have a species with a docile reputation doesn't mean you're going to have a docile spider. Tarantulas have mood swings just like any other creature. They're unpredictable, and some are more temperamental than others. For example, Spidey is a G Rosea. They have a reputation for being docile or calm, but if you ask many other tarantula owners who have these guys, a lot of them really aren't docile at all, and they don't live up to that, reputation. I think that as more information and more people speak up about this, they're kind of losing that reputation, to be honest. Spidey's very calm, but she's also very old, and she even has her own little mood swings, especially after a molt. So, you don't really know what you're getting with a tarantula, and you can do your best to kind of test their temperament and see what their baseline is, because some are just generally more calm than others. But this is not a cuddly pet, and they are honestly the happiest and the most comfortable when you leave them alone. And a great sign that they're really comfortable and or happy is when they're doing absolutely nothing. Now, yes, some tarantulas are more active than others, and some even go through active seasonal phases, but a tarantula that's comfortable is pretty much going to do nothing, a whole lot of nothing. Spidey can do nothing for days at a time. And it's really when you see tarantulas nervously pacing around their tanks or just being unusually active, that usually means that there's something stressing them out in their tank or in their environment. So those are things to look out for. And of course, other signs of stress are them kicking hairs off of their abdomen, or just getting random bald spots for maybe kicking hairs when you're not around. So you want to look for that stuff too. Another thing I want to mention is that I know I'm using the word happy, but I don't actually mean happy the emotion. Tarantulas, as far as we know, don't really experience happiness or emotions like we do, the way that we process emotions. So when I'm saying happy, I just want to clarify that I mean they're comfortable and they're not stressed out. So that's what I mean. Tarantulas do experience fear and stress, maybe not to the emotional way that we do, but like at any animal, they have instincts and they can be uncomfortable. So anyway, I just wanted to clarify that before we move on. So one of the greatest things you can do is keep their environment really, really stable, and to notice if they're moving around nervously and are, paying attention to certain areas of their tank or staying away from certain areas of their tank that might be stressing them out. Sorry guys, I wanted to move the tank really quick because she's grooming and you guys can't see it from the glare. So enjoy the spider show, the Spidey show. Okay, so one of the greatest things you can do to keep your tarantula comfortable or make sure that they're comfortable is to protect them. And this means that if they are in pre-molt, you need to be aware of the signs of pre-molt. So you can definitely look at my other videos or on my website for signs of that, but you want to make sure that you are not introducing food into your tarantula's enclosure during pre-molt, because that will also stress them out. And you also don't want to leave prey items in there for a few days if they're not eating them, because that also causes stress. I mean, in my own experience, Spidey has kicked hairs at her food before because she wasn't hungry and wanted to just be left alone. So yeah, you don't want to have anything in the tank that's going to be running around and causing them more stress. Like I said, tarantulas like to be left alone, especially when they're not hungry. So you want to just be mindful of that, to remove anything that they're not eating, so that their environment stays really stable. And it's also good as far as keeping the enclosure clean, because their food is nasty. Tarantulas are very, very clean and tidy creatures, and they won't really make too much of a mess in their tank unless you have like a tarantula that sprays poop. I know that some avics can be really, really messy and some others as well. But in general, a lot of tarantulas are pretty tidy. Unfortunately, their worms, their crickets are not. They'll do gross things in the tank and they will reproduce, and that happened to me once. And so now I do not ever leave any uneaten food out. And tarantulas are just really temperamental about their space, so you want them to feel like it's all theirs. Another really big thing that you can do to keep your tarantula comfortable, and this is probably the biggest one besides the food thing, you want to make sure that you've thoroughly researched the care requirements for your tarantula. Knowing the right type of enclosure, the right size enclosure, the type of substrate they need, any humidity requirements, the fact that they need a water dish, you're getting safe decor for them that's not going to hurt them. Those things are incredibly important for your tarantula's comfort, and as well as reducing their anxiety. You want to make sure that if you have an arboreal tarantula, that you're getting them an arboreal tank. You want to make sure that that's on point. And if you have a land-dwelling tarantula like Spidey here, you want to make sure that you're not giving them something too high that they might hurt themselves on, or that not something that they're going to feel like they have so much space that they're actually getting stressed out. And your enclosure will obviously depend on what species you have and the age or size of your spider, but you want to just make sure that it's appropriate and you're not giving them too little, too much space, or that you are using the incorrect substrate. I think substrate's an extremely important point, because what I've seen with a lot of tarantulas is that if you give a tarantula that likes dry substrate and you give them damp substrate, they will be incredibly stressed out. I've made that mistake before in the beginning with Spidey, who loves just extremely dry substrate because of the species that she is. And I used to put damp coconut husk fiber in here, and she used to climb the walls just to get away. She would do anything to avoid touching it before it was dry. So you want to make sure that you're getting a substrate that's good for them, and you don't want to put them on anything like wood chips or anything like that, because that also causes stress. So getting the substrate right, getting the enclosure right, as well as providing them with a water dish and stuff like that, and safe decor is really, really important as far as keeping your tarantula's stress level down and making them feel comfortable. Another great thing you can do to make sure that your tarantula is comfortable is to make sure that you're setting up their enclosure in a location that's not going to stress them out. So things like heavy foot traffic, being in a very busy area of the house, a very loud area of the house, or where they're going to feel a lot of vibrations, that is going to stress them out. You also want to keep them away from any dangers like kids or pets. You want to make sure that you're not putting them in a room where there's going to be a ton of direct sunlight, because tarantulas really do not like too much light or direct heat. They don't need lights or heat lamps or anything like that. So you just want to make sure that they are in a place that's kind of private, kind of quiet, and very, very peaceful. And that's going to do a lot as far as making your tarantula comfortable. And in closing, I think something that it's really important for tarantula owners to know, especially new tarantula owners, is that it's totally normal for your tarantula to display signs of stress and have difficulty getting comfortable when you first bring them home. Whenever you clean your tarantula's tank, move anything around in your tarantula's tank, introduce a new decor to your tarantula's tank, or bring your tarantula home from the pet store first, or put them in a new enclosure, they're going to be stressed out. That's normal. Tarantulas take a pretty decent amount of time to get settled in their new environment and to start scoping it out and making it theirs. So it's completely normal for your tarantula to be a little bit stressed out when you first get it. And it's very normal for it to do things like stop eating, be pacing around nervously, be exploring the tank. All that is normal, and it's best to just, during this time, give them water and all the stuff that they need, but then leave them alone for several days. The more that you bother them, the harder they're going to have getting comfortable and just settling in. So it's normal for a tarantula to experience feeling uncomfortable when you first get them or bring them home or do anything drastic to their tank. So just be aware of that. Sometimes it's not anything that you're doing. Sometimes it's just that tarantulas are just really anxious creatures. So, give them time to settle. And, like I said before, one of the biggest things that you can do as far as making your tarantula comfortable is just leaving them alone. Making sure they have everything they need, but, not bothering them too much, not trying to handle them very much, and, just letting them go about their little spider duties. So yeah, anyway, guys, I hope that was really helpful. I think that it's a great topic for new tarantula owners to learn about, and I think that it can definitely alleviate some of the stress that comes with, trying to take care of a new tarantula. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. You can also share some of your own tips in the comments. And if you'd like to receive my newsletter, you can sign up for my website, tarantulaheaven.com. And you can also, when you sign up, get a free little hacks and tips guide from me, and you can also access my full tarantula guide on tarantulaheaven.com as well. And you can also access my new tarantula magazine, The Spinneret. We're a few issues in now, so that's really exciting, and I'm always looking for feedback on that as well. So anyway, guys, I'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.